Hey guys, I'm gonna go ahead and read this article to you guys. This article is going to be called Constipated Florida Lizard Breaks Record with Gargantuan Poop. I know some of these articles have been pretty, kind of depressing or, a little heavy. So I decided to give you guys a pretty funny one. So we're going to go ahead and get started. You can see here, image one, nearly all of this northern curly-tailed lizard's digestion was halted by an impassable fecal mass. Photo by Natalie Clouch, by Catherine J. Wu, Smithsonian.com, adapted by New Zealand staff. Okay. Natalie Clouch and her colleagues plucked a portly northern curly-tailed lizard from the site of a beachside pizza shop in Florida. She knew the reason behind the reptile's rotundness. The tubby creature had a 2-inch long midsection. It was swollen to the size of a golf ball. It was a female, so it was probably pregnant, the University of Florida herpetologist mused. Clouch and her colleagues began to poke around the animal's abdomen. However, they didn't find any evidence of eggs. Instead, it just felt like it was full of silly putty, Clouch says in a statement. The lizard lady's innards weren't full of burgeoning babies, the team soon realized. They instead were bursting with poop. There were 22 grams of it in total. That was enough to account for a third of the poor creature's entire body volume. It comprised 80% of its total weight. The tremendous turd had gotten lodged in the very constipated lizard's gastrointestinal tract. It now holds the record for the largest mass of digested food matter ever discovered in a living animal. Clouch's team reported the find in a recent note in the journal Herpetological Review. Here's a X-ray photo. Image 2, a medical scan of the lizard with a 22-gram mass of digested food in its gut. Photo, Edward J. Stanley, Florida Museum. Everybody poops, of course, but bowel movements aren't always regular. Researchers suspect this unlucky lizard fell into a precarious situation after gorging himself on refuse from the Cocoa Beach pizza shop where she was found. Her regular intake of grease mixed in with accidental gulps of sand and more typically reptilian fare of insects and other lizards had seeded a stubborn knot of feces that refused to budge from her body, reports Nina Puyano from Inverse. In truth, the researchers find had some poop precedents. Twice before, Clouch's team had happened upon northern curly-tailed lizards teeming with turds that comprised more than 30% of their body weight. So when the researchers failed to find evidence of eggs, they stuck the reptile in a CT scanner. It revealed that poop had literally turned things pear-shaped. I was blown away by how little room there was left for all other organs, Florida Museum researcher Edward Stanley says in the statement. It has only a tiny space left over in its rib cage for the heart, lungs, and liver. It must have been a very uncomfortable situation for the poor lizard. Northern curly-tailed lizards are native to the Bahamas, the Cayman Islands, and Cuba. They were intentionally introduced to Florida in the early 1940s to combat sugarcane pests. Now the invasive, omnivorous reptiles will nosh on just about anything. They lay waste to everything from bugs to bits of human refuse. They're like little sparrows or gulls at a fry stand without the chirping or swooping, Clouch says in the statement. But this dietary flexibility is a double-edged sword. Northern curly-tailed lizards aren't picky enough to pass over grub that can clog their guts. Because they aren't native to Florida, northern curly-tailed lizards captured for research can't be released back into the wild. The lizard whose gut was blocked by the deuce she couldn't drop also appeared to be starving. To better understand their subject's condition, the researchers humanely euthanized her. Then they took more precise measurements of the fecal lump. This plucky little creature is no longer with us, however. She will live on the scientific literature. She may not be the reigning constipation champion forever, although her title will certainly be tough to take, according to Clouch. We are unaware of any records from wild or captive animals that approach our findings, she tells Inverse. We hope for the sake of the individual animals, there are not any out there.